Hello everybody, I'm Brian from Orchids by Brian, and today I am at Orchids by Hausermann in Villa Park, Illinois, an iconic, world-renowned orchid nursery that I am thrilled to explore. This one has been one of my top 5 orchid nurseries I've been trying to visit across the United States, and I'm so excited to bring you a tour of this amazing place. I mean, obviously you can see behind me, it is absolutely jaw-dropping, the amount of orchids and blooms that we're going to be able to see today. So with that, here we go. Let's go check out Orchids by Hausermann. All right, here we are in the main showroom at Orchids by Hausermann. What a place. Let's check it out. Here are some of their amazing Paphiopedilum orchids. You are going to see a variety, just about every single variety you can imagine here at Hausermann's. Look at this. This is a Paph Lindley Kupowitz. Beautiful plant. Look at these flowers here. This is a better example of the bloom. Wow. Absolutely amazing. This place is absolutely massive, and the blooms are so impressive. Check out all these flowers here. This is Hanianum. Wow, that is beautiful. And of course, some of their Fragmipediums as well. And these are for sale. Massive specimen plants of these Fragmipediums and Paphiopedilums. Now let's see this guy. Fragmipedium, Sorcerer's Apprentice. And again, look at the size of this plant. That is huge. So many beautiful flowers. And like I said, look at all these Fragmipediums here. This guy, this is amazing right here. Check out the size of that guy. Look at those long sepals. You can see the size of the plant. Frag Grande, very fitting name for a spectacular flower. Like I said, I am so thrilled to show you Orchids by Hausermann in Illinois. Very grateful for all of your support that allows me to bring these incredible nurseries to you all. It is you who I owe immense gratitude, so thank you all so much for watching, for supporting the channel. As always, you know, any support, whether it's super thanks, super chats, watching the videos, means the world to me. Check these out, my gosh. I know this is just the paphs and frags. I need to be careful not to spend too much time on these. This is Paph Welsleyanum alba. Wonderful mini Paphiopedilum. Now, they also have several different mounted orchids, which you'll find here on these trellises, including Fukiran Neophanetia orchids, mounted on cork slabs, you can see. And the prices here are, like, amazing. I'm honestly blown away at how affordable the plants are here. Sedera japonica. Here's a cool Bulbophyllum membranaceum. They also have an entire house dedicated to cooler growing species like Miltonias, Masdevallias, Draculas, and of course we'll stop in over there. But I want to do as comprehensive a look at all of the amazing plants that they have here. Like I said, you can, if you're into miniatures, something that's mounted, small, that you can grow in a confined space. Look at these beautiful variegated Dendrobiums. I mean, the leaves absolutely spotless on these cedar shingles. Maniliforme, for $14.99. Not bad at all. Now here are some of their Schnorchus fragrans. You can see the name there. Look at the size of these Schnorchus fragrans. Like, these are probably 3 times the size of mine. Of course, they just finished blooming. Mine finished blooming recently. And so, really beautiful stuff. Phalaenopsis bastionii. You can see wonderful miniature Phalaenopsis rooted to these shingles. So you're getting wonderful established mounted orchids from Orchids by Hausermann. Dendrobium hacuense and Epidendrum nomus. Of course, if you are a collector like me and you have Cattleyas, you have most assuredly heard of Orchids by Hausermann, because their plants are world-renowned. Here's some Sophronitis Bright Spark, Sophronitis hybrid. And of course, here's some more Bulbophyllum and Encyclia, Brassavolas, Phalaenopsis philippinense, one of my favorite Phalaenopsis. You can see has those wonderfully silver spotted leaves. And again, here's some Bulbophyllum cornovis, Heralia. They even have ghost orchid, Dendrophylax cellii. Really, really nice. Now, check these out over here. Beautiful orchids. Tons of blooms on the way on these guys. Phyocalanthe kryptonite parkside. AMAOS. And they have tons of flowers, either in bud or they are flowering right now, like this guy right here. But anyway, as I was saying, if you've heard of Orchids by Hausermann, you've probably seen their incredible standard Cattleyas, which we will take a look at in this video, but beautiful oncidiums. They even have some extremely floriferous oncidiums. Look at these. Gosh, if you love these plants, Orchids by Hausermann will blow you away. Of course, you can order online from Orchids by Hausermann, and you can add orchids to your collection. They ship all across the United States of America. I've purchased or shipped plants from them before, Masdevallias, and they always come in so healthy. Nice Brassia, spider orchid. Really, really nice. So, I've heard folks purchasing Cattleyas, of course. They're known for those. Beautiful. Now, speaking of Cattleyas, check out this mini cat. That is beautiful. This has Epicatleya Kayaguchi, Cattleya brabantei by Kayaguchi. Beautiful. I love Epicatleya Kayaguchi. It really does do wonders for that lip. You can see some Brassavola hybrids. Cattleya Volcano Pride by Nodosa.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You can see these beautiful yellow Nodosa hybrids, Aurantiaca by Nodosa. And of course, more compact standard Dendrobiums with just beautiful flowers. Like I said, this place is amazing. Lots and lots of standard Phalaenopsis, as you can see over there. We're going to walk through each of those aisles, but here they are. Some of the Cattleyas that Hausermann is known worldwide for growing. Look at that. That is absolutely incredible. Here's the name. BLC Chief, Happy Chief. Wonderful orchid. We're going to see several Hausermann classics they're known for here. Standard Cattleyas. Look at that. $55 for a very well-established Cattleya. Oh my word, that is beautiful. And I think there are names over here. Let's see, this is this guy here. Jerry Ann Richard, Ruby Lips. It has an intoxicating grape fragrance. Very floral, and it's overwhelming, that scent. What a flower. And I think this one is the same. I see the tag over here. Yep, this is that same plant. Jerry Ann Richard, Ruby Lips. Wow. And now here's some more compact growers. Check out this Cerulean. Cattleya, obviously Cerulean in the Cattleya world means blue. Of course, it looks more like purple. So if you buy a blue Cattleya, it might look like that. They are gorgeous. This is LC, Mary Elizabeth Bone, Royal Flair, AMAOS. Several orchids here at Hausermann are awarded plants. Here's a beautiful compact grower. Has Walkeriana in its background, if I recall correctly. This is Cattleya Mini Purple Blue Hawaii, one that I have been looking for some time, but I am going to be picking up some different orchids from Hausermann today, so it's going to have to wait. Look at this guy. What a beautiful flower, yellow and salmon with these flares, and the plant itself is spotless. This is one of my favorites that I saw here. I can't see the name really well. I would have to ask them, but of course, if you see something on this video from Hausermann that you want to reach out and share with the world, or sorry, add to your collection, then hopefully share with the world, because a flower like this deserves to be shown, reach out. They will definitely help you identify any plants that I don't show the name. There is a ton of flowers here, so I don't think I'm going to be able to go through and show you every single tag, but we will go through and see the variety that they do have here at Hausermann. This is a beautiful orchid here. BLC Chomthong Delight Smile Lip. Look at that. That is really pretty. And I believe this is another one. Yeah. This is the Chief, Happy Chief. You can see the variation in the flowers as these beautiful plants have some variation because they are, in fact, hybrids, of course. So it's very normal. But these standard purples and flared Cattleyas are stealing the show today. Absolutely gorgeous. Alright, so now let's head over this way. Like I said, great variety of orchids. I want to show you up above here some massive bulbophyllum Phalaenopsis orchids right above head. These are humongous Phalaenopsis, bulbophyllum Phalaenopsis. Now I have some folks I know that love Tolumnias as well. They have a phenomenal selection of Tolumnias here at Hausermann. Tolumnia Gyrac Rainbow. Strawberry, you can see there's several different varieties. We're going to walk down this aisle. We have some Maxillaria tenafolia, Maxillaria rufescens, like I said, you're going to see a variety of orchids, some of which are really surprising, just beautiful plants I've never even seen before. Species and hybrids alike. Here is a species, Fredericksthalii, Maxillaria, Heniciana, and of course down here we have some Zygopetalums. Alright, let's walk over on the other side here. If you are visiting Chicago, Illinois, these guys are not very far away, so you should definitely stop in. Again, here are those Tolumnias. Oops, they have some pretty nice sized Tolumnias too. Check that out. This guy is in spike, soon to be in bud. Gyrac firm, crimson, and has these wine-colored flowers. Gyrac flyer, dark pink. You can see there is no shortage of Tolumnias if you collect orchids that tend to reside in Dominican Republic, but also throughout some warm growing regions. Here's a flower, wonderful Tolumnia, Gyrac flyer, Gales. You can see, beautiful plant and wonderful little flower. This is the sole Tolumnia in bloom that I've seen so far. Now, I'm going to turn over on this side because there is these wonderful Maxillaria tenifolia yellow, Yamada, an AMAOS awarded Maxillaria. Did I say Tolumnia? I meant Maxillaria if I didn't. Maxillaria with yellow flowers, different from those typical red Tolumnia flowers that folks are used to. Here's Maxillaria picta. No flowers right now, but again, show you all the Tolumnias we have down here. Various different varieties. Gyrac firm, Gyrac flyer, pastel pink. Incredible. Now, in the aisle next to me here, I do want to show you first this wonderful display of standard Phalaenopsis. Look at these colors. They are so vibrant. If I lived in this area, I'd probably have a new Phalaenopsis growing in my home every single week. Alright, here are some of their mini Cattleyas, which I have sourced for sure. Here's Cattleya Fairyland, which I picked up two, one for my mom, one for me. So they have them here at Orchids by Hausermann. They also have Cattleyas, why not? And it is even in spike. Of course, known for those wonderful red colors. And then this was one I eyed down. Diacattleya Chantilly Lace. Look at that beautiful flower. Really nice plant. There's the name, Chantilly Lace. Okay. Now they have several miniature Cattleyas that you'll see here. Here's some Potnara Singing Scarlet Xinhua. They have several seedlings, but many that are in spike. So here's an orange glow. I don't have any photos of that guy, but you can see all of the sheaths. And here is even a Cattleya walkeriana variety alba, and it's pendentive, and it is an AMAOS award-winning orchid. BC Teresa Risi, Cattleya rantianca, Latagesi. These are some seedling Latagesi. Even Cattleya dowiana, really nice size Cattleya dowiana. Not in bloom at this time, but a beautiful, beautiful flower. Of course, you can see more of those Tolumnias, Cattleya maxima, Laelia tenebrosa, and spotted charm. Now, on the other side, there are some flowers. Try to watch my step Make sure I don't slip. It's a little bit wet. They just watered. It's a toasty, warm day here in Illinois. You can see, look at this. Cattleya, Taiwan mermaid. Beautiful stuff. Check out this. Neophonetia. Neophonetia falcata. Chutenoi bicoto. And look at these little pink flowers. Really nice. They have several that are in bud and spike. There's another one. And of course, this guy is in bloom right now. Wonderful Neophonetia. They have white variety as well, not in bud or bloom. Check out this flower. This is a beautiful plant right here. This is the Kiawe Mendenhall. This is a young plant because I know that these flowers can get humongous. And I'm known for that beautiful red lip. And then down here, which I was excited about, because this one is a difficult plant to find, a Wanagara apple blossom. It used to be relatively common. I had it in my collection before. They have some really good sized plants available right now. So if you're looking, only $35 a Wanagara apple blossom here at Orchids by Hausermann. That is a great, great flower. It is extremely floriferous when it does get older, and you can have yourself so many beautiful blooms. Really, really nice. Here's some Dendrobium species. Tangerinum. Here's a Neostylis, Lucinary, Fuchs Ocean Spray, Bluebird. Not much for blooms down here. Like I said, it's largely the growing season for orchids in the summertime, but nonetheless, it's just like incredible to visit a place like this. There's always orchids in bloom at Hausermann Orchids, so no matter what season you decide to stop by, you'll find plants. Okay, let's go down here. Here's some more Oncidium orchids and Dendrobiums. There's a couple down here I wanted to show you in bloom. Look at these wonderful flowers. Really pretty. Dendrobium parishii. Trilobello, which means that it, I believe, is technically pyloric because it does have those mimicking petals. I believe they're really, really different. Gorgeous, gorgeous Dendrobiums. And I love like the hairy petals that they have. Can you see that? There we go. Really cool. Okay, let's keep going again. I'm going to try to be as quickly as possible to show everything well, but make sure I don't have a 2-hour video. Here's Vanilla Perrieri. Sometimes hard to get those names. They also have Schomburgkia tibacinus, and Bryciana. They have Rhinantheras, Papillonandas, and Vanda species down here as well that you can choose from. Here's some little Grammatophyllum scriptum. I've seen them humongous plants, but look at, they're blooming. Little guys. These are just about to pop open. They're actually just opening up. Grammatophyllum scriptum, beautiful flowers, but what a nursery Orchids by Hausermann is. Like I said, I'm going to try to show you all the flowers that I can identify. Over here is where they have their Zygopetalum. They do have some zygotes in bloom this time of the year. There we go. Tricky flower to show. But they have an intoxicating fragrance as well. This is Zygopetalum Blue Blazes Blue Plate Special. Really, really nice stuff. These are fragrant orchids. I've never grown in my collection yet, but some folks I know grow them really, really well. My friend Matt, who, if you're watching, how's it going, Matt? Good to talk to you. See you. Thanks for watching the video. Check this out. Wow, this is one of the first times I have shown this orchid on the channel. What a massive, massive specimen this is. Let's see if I can show you the name. Wonderful. Hybrid. Look at that bloom. I think this is a Cyanoches. I know they're all in the Cattleyas family, but known for these upside down yellow flowers. Really nice. Now, of course, down here we have some more Masdevallia hybrids. Nothing in bloom at this time. I'm not gonna stop down there, and I do see some epidendrums down here that I'll be able to show. Look at this. Tons of blooms on this Liparis. You can see some stuff. It's just missed the flowering season. They all have their flowers, but check out this epidendrum. This is an Ephronites veitchii, FCC, AOS awarded plant. Like I said, you'll find many awarded orchids here at Orchids by Hausermann, which is always wonderful because you are able to get a plant that will appreciate and value. And that's always a positive when you're collecting, building a orchid collection of great value. Over here are some more of those Paphiopedilum, some seedlings, some full-size plants in bloom. There's not too much in flower over on this side, but like you can see this. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like nine benches of Paphiopedilum. So if you love paphs, like I said, they have just about everything for you here. Here's some vanilla planifolia, really healthy, gorgeous plants. Dendrobiums over here, not in flower at this time, but I do want to show you some of their bulbophyllum orchids that they have over here. Not much is freshly in bloom, but they have some classic bulbophyllums. They have some species. You also have some hybrids that you can pick up from Orchids by Hausermann. Really nice. All right, let's go see some more blooms. That is why you're here, of course. So, again, beautiful nursery. I can't even, I have no idea what kind of number to put on how many orchids they have. But this one is spectacular. It's one I don't see very often, relatively uncommon Coleogeny species. This is Coleogeny mayeriana by Cell from Borneo. Grown here at Orchids by Hausermann. Look at that, the black lip and bright green flower. Almost blends right in with the leaves. You would have to look for this in the wild if you were trying to see the flowers. Down here they have jewel orchids, so if you're looking for a couple different varieties of jewel orchids, one of the easiest orchids to grow, they have them here. And of course, look at this over there. Look at all the vandas. They actually have these vandas in baskets Oh my gosh, they are all so healthy. It blows my mind. You can tell that this nursery has been in business for decades. They have some orchids that are mounted. Bulbophyllum miniatum, Dendrobium porpax, and here is Dacrylia wessellii, which I highlighted on a nursery tour with Waldor. Really cool. Like I said, it's just like keeps going. And in here, you know, not much in bloom, but more incredible Phalaenopsis. We're gonna go and step back over by all the phals now, and I'll show you rows and rows of Phalaenopsis, and then we'll go in and look at a couple of standard Cattleyas that are in bloom here, and then I'll close out the tour in one of my favorite houses, the cool growing house, which is where you'll be able to see Masdevallias, Miltonias, and more. And so, look at the size of this place. Incredible. I know I sound like a broken record. It can be hard to know what to say when you visit such an iconic grower. Okay, well, let's start down here. This is one of my favorite parts, was walking down these aisles. Look at all these blooms. Yellow, bright yellow Phalaenopsis, all standard Phalaenopsis. They do have their names, which is also exciting. You know, you don't always get the standard Phalaenopsis names. That's what all of these yellow, pale yellow colored phals are. Over here we have standards with these pronounced veins. Oops, there we go. And that's this guy right here. Really, really nice. Oh my gosh, look at all these blooms. This one is pretty. This one's really, really pretty. My Lord. Look at the flowers, everybody. I mean, how about that view? Oh man, this is what heaven looks like, I think. It looks like Orchids by Hausermann. So I walked right through the door and I'm into another greenhouse where they have even more orchids in bloom. This is the one we peeked into earlier. You can see some of the Brassavola nodosa. These are some of the orchids that are sold or stock plants, but check it out. Like I said, they have so much grow space here. Just tons and tons of blooms. Oh my Lord. That's beautiful. Okay, back up here. Can't get distracted. All right, so here we go. Walking back through here, some of those boughs that are no longer in bloom, but you can see beautiful purple Phalaenopsis MS, purple dome. And these plants are huge, people. I don't know how I can capture the scale. Let's just say this is my hand. It only makes up 2 flowers. So when you're looking at this, just know your hand is about 2 flowers worth. So when you see like 10 flowers, you have every right to be absolutely blown away. These are pretty too. Even more flowers. Oh my gosh, people, this is amazing. I want to thank the team at Orchids by Hausermann for letting me highlight their beautiful nursery and incredible plants that they are growing here in their greenhouses in Illinois. Like I said, if you ever visit Chicago, pay them a visit. They are one of the pioneers of the orchid hobby, and you can truly see why by the quality of the plants that they grow here. You don't even have to like orchids to be absolutely blown away in this nursery. Just going to walk through here and highlight these flowers. Hopefully this brings you as much peace through the camera as it is bringing me right now in person. And I'm so thrilled to be able to bring this video to you all and highlight this special place. It is a true gem, true asset to the United States, and I hope it lives on and thrives for decades so that my kids and their kids can appreciate these beautiful plants and hopefully visit and see it for themselves, because it is worth an adventure in and of itself. Amazing. Okay. Let us keep going into the nursery. Over here they have some of their teacup Phalaenopsis too. Check these out. Beautiful variegated leafed miniature Phalaenopsis. All different varieties. This was one that I picked up, and it smells delicious. Look at all the flowers. Can you see? There we go. That's beautiful. Like I said, miniature Phalaenopsis. So if you love phals, which they are pretty, this is Phalaenopsis Young Home Little Spirit. Really nice. The young homes tend to bloom a lot. Now this, look at this guy. I don't know what the name of this one is. It must have Stewartiana in its background because the leaves are slightly shiny. Is this it here? Timothy Christopher. I don't think that that's the same one, because this is this very white, crisp white mini cat right here. Which is still beautiful. Wow. Look at these mini cats here. Wow. Even more down this side. Here's Phalaenopsis Shyho's Pink Girl. Darker leafed, and it has buds. Here's what the flowers look like. It's almost like a compact Schilleriana. Here's even more mini cats that are, or mini Phalaenopsis. I probably said mini cats before, that are just about to open the buds. Look at this guy here. Wonderful purple color. Really nice. Yeah, so for like mini phals. Mini Phalaenopsis, so many different orchids. I gotta memorize the names when I come to these places sometimes. If you love mini phals, great place. Really, really, really great place. Okay, let's keep going into the nursery. Over here are their Cattleyas, but first, some large, showy novelty Phalaenopsis. Look at these. Beautiful, beautiful orchids. You can see how many they have over there. That is gorgeous. But anyway, okay, here we go. Here are their Cattleyas, the standard Cattleyas that Hausermann is known for. There are a couple of orchids in bloom that I will be able to highlight for you all here today, starting off with this guy. Look at that cerulean color. This is the Mary Elizabeth that we saw a little bit earlier. Mary Elizabeth Bone, Royal Flare AMAOS. Beautiful. Blue coloration. You can see just lines of Cattleyas. I'm not going to go through every single bench because I think that would take, like I said, 2 hours. I already know that this video is going to be a significant video, but I do want to highlight as many orchids as I can. I know that there's some down here that are in bloom that I'll highlight over here. Let's see, here they are, down here. This is where they were. Look at this, oh my gosh. Wow, this is beautiful. And down here I can see a whole group of these stunners. These are on their way out. I think that's why they kept them back here. But these, oh my gosh, what a nursery. And I wish you all had smell-o-vision and you could just enjoy the beauty here. All right, let's keep going a little bit further, folks. Purchasing all kinds of orchids here today. All right, now over here they have dozens of mounted orchids. Let's stop and show you this Fragmentopedium right here before we continue on. Look at that guy, isn't that nice? But anyway, as I was saying, mounted orchids. They have a ton of them, lots of Angrecums and African species, which is really exciting. Angrecum eschlerianum, and you can see like really nice, well-established plants. Campyliocentrum macranthum, Thrixospermum laurosylvaticum. Really nice, like I said, Orangus, Halcoglossum, even some Cattleyas mounted. Like, check it out. Well established, Rhodocrista bikirkii, a Hausermann hybrid. They have here, they got some little mini Vandas, Lockhart species, even some more Tolumnias, for my Tolumnia lovers, and varieties, Laelia anceps, Orangus modesta. Let me check out. Look at those roots coming on this Orangus modesta. Really nice. Angrecum leonis. Nice Angrecum leonis. Chrysostomopsis. Eberhardii, Orangus, Pioneer. Oh my gosh, so many mounted orchids. There isn't much in bloom in the mounted stuff, but for those of you who love mounted orchids like me, grow them well in your space, this place has tons and tons of flowers. Let's see, over here. Let's check out some of the others. Barkaria leptotes, Oncidium schnorchus, budiflora, Phalaenopsis. Here's an alba bicolor. Leptotes, Drumelia, Chrysostema, Drumelia, Dendrobiums, even Cattleya warzowiecii mounted. Really, really nice. Mysticadiums, Laelia pumila, Cattleya violacea as well. So let's go on the other side because I did see another orchid that is down on the other side that I wanted to highlight. I really like the bark areas. Look at these. I've never grown these guys before, but the flowers are really pretty. Okay, let's go down here and show you a standard Cattleya that I spotted earlier today. Oh man, like, come on. That is amazing. Wow, this is LC Irene Finney Springs Best, AMAOS. There's the name. And these are some of their world-renowned Cattleya, standard Cattleyas. Like I said, not much in bloom right now. There is one down the end here that I'll show you. But other than that, we're going to go to the next greenhouse where they do have some beautiful Laelia anceps. Here's one that's in bud, on its way. Let's check out this flower here because this is beautiful as well. Like I said, Hausermann Orchids known for these standard cats. Wow, the fragrance is overwhelming. You can smell this from like a whole bench away. Look at that flower. Wow. Oh man, I don't know the tag on this. I think this is also still an Irene Finney, because all the ones around it are still Irene Finney, but that is beautiful. Now stopping over here, they seem to have some Brazilian species over on this side. In particular, I wanted to show you some of their Laelia anceps down the end here, but of course, let's go for a walk. Check out these Laelias. Oh man, look at this flower here. That is beautiful. Laelia anceps hybrid. So nice. There are several in bud, and I'll show you a couple more flowers over here. That guy's on his way out, but this one will give us a good view. Whoops, nope, that's not the one. Here it is. This is the guy. Look at that. You can see the variation in the hybrid, the same name, same hybrid as the guy before. You can see how the flowers can differ. Here's another beautiful anceps. Check out this guy. Okay, and then one more anceps, and then we'll close out the Cattleya section. You can see there's another anceps. The last flower. That's a nice flower. All right, and last but not least, more of these guys that stole the show, I think, for this video. Oh man, this is, these are incredible. I love this flower in particular. Look at those really fine flares on an overall white flower. Really pretty, and then let's just zoom out and see all the colorations. Look at these. Oh man. And the fragrance also intoxicating down here. Let me see if I can show you the name of this guy. That tag is stuck a little bit. This is the Chief, Happy Chief again. Whoop, it's gonna be hard to show. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not gonna wrestle it too much, but like I said, these are beautiful, beautiful orchids here at Orchids by Hausermann. Look at all of them over there. Look at all that color. So cool. Okay. Like I said, even more orchids down this way, none in bloom at this time. I'll walk down this aisle and see if we have any other flowers, and then we'll continue on with the tour. Let's get one better look at this Laelia anceps down here that I saw. I think it deserves it, don't you agree? Oh yeah, that's a nice flower. Absolutely stunning. Now over here we have an entire greenhouse of whites. White Cattleyas, or white Phalaenopsis. More standard cats down there, but nothing in bloom from what I checked out, but there are some over here that I do want to highlight. These are not for sale. This is in their private stock. Look at that flower, everybody. I'm going to try to zoom through the fence. Can you see that? That is gorgeous. Wow. I love that flower. All right. Over here are the ones that we can actually get to that are, in fact, for sale. Look at these. Wow. These are beautiful. The name of this one. This is the Jerry Ann Richards Ruby Lips. And they have quite a few. These are one of the best fragrances on a Cattleya that I think I have ever smelled. Look at all of them here. All right, let's go down this end. I think that there are some that are all the way down here that I can highlight. Their stock house also has some beautiful stuff next door that, like I said, I can't get over there to show you the flowers themselves, but I can show you from afar. Like right here. Check that out. Like, you can tell that is a monster specimen. And there's a yellow with red lip that I can see right there. Look at that. Wow. Okay, now down here we have some more purple cats. Look at this. Oh man, look at the dark coloration on this. Wow, that is super dark purple flower. I'm gonna guess that these are also that same variety, but let me just show you some of these blooms. Some of them are just opening up, or they're still in bud. This is the Jerry Ann Richards Ruby Lips. Wow. Like I said, this nursery is absolutely massive. So when you come and visit, you need to plan a couple hours here. Honestly. Look at that. From their private collection over there. That's beautiful. Okay. Let's keep going. Walk through these benches of flowers. We are getting toward the end of our tour. I know you're probably sad like me, did not want it to end. But we are going to save my favorite greenhouse for last. That's the cool growing greenhouse where they have all of their beautiful Masdevallias. Again, I can't stop. I can't not stop. Come on. That is like next level, people. Really nice. Okay. Now, down here, there's even more orchids to see. Lots of Phalaenopsis, but here's a nice little sitting area. Like I said, Orchids by Hausermann. I just want to show you in here. I'm not going to go inside because it is just more Phalaenopsis, but just to show you the scale of this nursery. Like, it is hard to track where I'm even going. I feel like I've probably gone in loops over and over again. All right, and this is the intermediate cool growing greenhouse where they have their miltoniopsis, miltonias, and Masdevallias. Check out this flower. Miltonia Leonard Carl Gottling, red rim. Trying to talk a little bit higher than the fans. Of course, I got to keep this greenhouse pretty cool to grow some of these orchids. You can see some of these Miltonias. You'll see even more. Here's a Maxillaria scalariformis. Really, really neat stuff. Like, I am so impressed at the variety here at Orchids by Hausermann. Here's some more zygotes. Really big plants. They're clearly happy in these cooler conditions. I mean, look at the size of this plant. That's a big Zygopetalum. Here's the name of this guy. Really nice. Alright, put that back in there and we'll keep moving onward. They have some stelis. Here's a stelis argentata. None in bloom or bud right now, or spike, but there is a stelis around here that I'll show you in a second. That I think is really pretty, but check out these miltoniopsis. Oh man, the pansy orchid flowers last about 3 to 4 weeks. Cool grower. Does not like days higher than 75. 65 to 75 is ideal. 55 to 65 degree nights work really, really well for these orchids. Here's some white varieties. These are just opening up, but they have several right here I'll show you. This is a Miltonia Arthur Cobbledick Springtime HCC AOS. It's a fragrant Miltonia. The fragrance is delicious, people. Really, really nice fragrance. And the flowers are just, they are beautiful. There's a species Miltonia, Miltonia Phalaenopsis, that I really want to try to grow in my collection. Now, speaking of fragrant orchids, this is a Stelis emarginata, and here is one in spike and flower. Hopefully this will focus. Look at these little flowers. They're fragrant. They almost have a vanilla, sweet vanilla-like fragrance. I'll try to see if it'll focus better. Oh, there we go. Wonderful, delicate orchids. These are only 20 bucks, and they are spiking right now. We also have several Sologeny, Sologeny nitida, Graminifolia, which you can see right here. Really, really nice. Of course, back over by those awesome Miltonias. They have more mounted orchids here that grow well in cooler conditions also. like Amiziella, some hybrids, Dryadella cristata, some Andinias, Masdevallias. Here are some more of those white Miltonia Snow Charm, Mauna Kea, AMAOS, award-winning Miltonia. Oh man, this place, absolutely fantastic. If you're still tuning in, thanks so much for watching. It means the world to me that I have all of you subscribers and supporters. Let me pick this little guy up. Look at that. I believe this is an Encyclia Marii, or Mariae. Pretty large flowered Encyclia. Look at that bloom. Oh, this isn't. I'm sorry. This is not an Encyclia. I was gonna say it kind of looks like the flower, but or I guess it is. She's been renamed. Beautiful little bloom. Somebody knocked him over, so let's put him back over there to be displayed and appreciated. These flowers only last a couple of weeks after all, so we got to enjoy it. All right, over here we have a couple other Streptocarpus. Cape Primrose, you can see those down there, not orchids, but beautiful, beautiful stuff. They have Restrepias Platystelli, Leptotes tenui. Here's an Amiziella monticola, Laelia praestens, the Alba variety, Enothalis. Of course, over here some cooler growing Fragmopediums. Nobody's in bloom this time of the year, which is quite all right. But we do have some Lycast, or Lycasti, that I will show you here in just 1 second, because I know I have some fans of Lycasti. Look at the size of this Lycasti flower. Look at that. You'd never know that that wasn't a leaf if you weren't looking for it. That's a very common theme, I feel like, for some of the orchids that really blow my mind. This is Lycasti schilleriana, species Lycasti, large flowered Lycasti, beautiful leaves. I have lots of viewers that are very big fans of Lycasti, and they are wonderful little plants. Check out this guy. Wonderful golden, orange, yellow flowers. They have a red speckling deep in the lip. This is Lycasti cruenta, another species Lycasti. And look at the size of these leaves. I mean, this leaf is humongous. It's a beautiful flower. I really do like these plants. These flowers are wonderful. All right, over here we have a couple different Cymbidium varieties, some Asian Cymbidiums and hybrids. Long-lasting, winter-blooming Cymbidiums. And of course, like I said, more Platystelli, Masdevallia breviata, Halcoglossum, and Grecum parodii. And over here we have some Restrepia. Lots of Restrepia. Not a lot blooming, but they have so many different varieties. Sophronitis, Coccinea, Pleurophthalus truncata. Here's some more Pleurophthalus. Sindemaniana, stricta, immersa, Paphioglossa, russifolia, rabii. I think it's wonderful that they have such a variety. Now here's a couple of plants that I'm picking up from my collection while I'm here. The Ziegler's Love, Golden Gate, and Striped Salmon, and I might get another one. I'm honestly contemplating before I leave. I've walked around long enough to know what I'm interested in, but their Masdevallia selection is awesome. Masdevallia wagneriana, lots of species too. Webenii, ventricosa, trichemii. Trichemii tends to be a pretty good plant for growing slightly warmer, and I say that cautiously because they really don't like to be grown warm. So if you can grow cool, you're just going to have much better results. Really nice Masdevallia striatella back there. They have several available. You can, of course, like I said, order online. If there's anything you see in this video that they don't have online, reach out. They could definitely hook you up. Masdevallia Red Panda. Here's some Masdevallias that are in bloom right now. Masdevallia Rashingeriana, species Masdi. For those of you new to the hobby, if you're looking at orchid tags, you see the name is lowercase, tends to mean that it is a species. Here's Masdevallia Red Othello and Red Dawn. Look at that. That I bet has a beautiful shaped flower. And look at this little guy. Ceratostayella LOC, Hello Kitty. Wonderful salmon colored flower. Of course, here's more Masdevallia species. Piviana, Pachyera Pinot Noir is a great hybrid. Prince Charming, also a great hybrid with striking flowers, striped orange flowers. The prices here, like I said, I can't reiterate it enough, are fantastic. We even have Masdevallia Peppermint Rock, a great species that I do have in my collection. O'Brien's Passion, Mystica, Minuata Mendozier, really nice species that they have here. Melanthozantha. Like I said, there's not a ton in bloom right now, which is okay. They're growing. Here's a flower I can show you. Oh, look at this cute little guy. I don't know if it'll stop bouncing. Let me see. I have to put it down. There we go. Really small fella. This is Gutulata, Masdevallia gutulata. Great species. And then over here, even more Masdes, hybrids and species. They do a really great job at identifying orchids that are good for warmer tolerant. The gutulata, like I showed you a minute ago, is one of those warmer tolerant Masdevallias. Masdevallia Galaxy, Golden Gate, Masdevallia Excelsior, Deceptrix, Evelina, Serrano, Deconans, Cassiope, Golden Gate, also great flower, Chaparana, Dragon Tongue. I like this one here. This is Cogitambo, which is a Cattleya by Coccinia. Comes with Cassia type flowers, but super red. Masdevallia Charisma has Coccinia in it, of course, and then lots of Coccinia hybrids over on this side. They have Alba, a yellow variety, pink, red. Masdevallia Belladonna, Bay Breeze Royal, Barliana, which is a great species, and Ibanka, also wonderful, humongous flower, one of the largest Masdevallia blooms. Really, really nice. Andean Heart, Alabaster. And then, of course, over here are some of their Draculas. They don't seem to be very pleased with the warmer temperatures. At least some of them don't, but it's good to see how they grow here. Ask questions, and it'll help you to do better, be a better grower yourself as you start to grow orchids, maybe new species that you haven't grown before. Now, I have no idea what this orchid is, but look at this flower. Tell me that is not the weirdest and wildest orchid flower you've ever seen. And then look at these Phragmopediums. You can see them through the fence. Oh my God, look at that. Holy cow. That is a monster. They have dozens of orchids over there that are in bloom, really beautiful. Beautiful plants, lots of Fragmipediums that seem to be very happy in these slightly cooler growing conditions. But again, back over to the Draculas, lots of different Draculas, none of which in bloom at this time, but of course one of the classics, Lotax. Wonderful, wonderful plant. All right, well, that is going to conclude my tour of Orchids by Hausermann. All right, everybody, that's going to conclude my tour of Orchids by Hausermann here in Illinois. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to the team at Hausermann for letting me visit and share this amazing nursery with all of you. I really appreciate you tuning in and supporting the channel, and I hope to see you in the next video. All right, with that, I'm Brian from Orchids by Brian, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.